All right, you guys. Well, today I have for you a 2021 Toyota Highlander. Do a little walk around here. This is an XSE trim, so it's got the blacked out grille. It's got a lot of like blacked out accents to it, which I really like. But I'll go around the back here. As you can see, like the Highlander badge is like blacked out, as is like the XSE badge. We will pop the tailgate and show you guys the cargo room. So here's what it looks like back here. We'll check under the floor, and you don't get, it doesn't look like you get a spare tire in here, but you do get like some tools under the floor there. And if to fold the seats down, just pull this tab right here and they'll fold down flat. And as you can see, you get a pretty good cargo bed in here. Fold the seats back up, you just pull the strap right here and they fold out. Pretty nice. Do the same for the other side. All right, and we'll close the tailgate here. Show you guys how fast it closes. Not exactly like the quickest, but it's doable. It's decent. All right, and this is the 3.5 liter V6, makes 295 horsepower. As you can see, pretty standard stuff in here. Close up the hood. Show you guys the back seat room. And these are the captain's chairs. And it's nice and roomy back here. Plenty of room. Really can't complain at all. You do get rear seat climate controls. You also get 2 USBs down here. You get 2 cup holders in this little center console area. Very nice. You also get these little sunshades. Those are pretty cool. I'll show you guys the room in the third row real quick. So we're just gonna lift this little tab right here and the seat kind of slides forward. Third row is very small. These seats are really tiny, but I'll still try to get back here. All right. Yeah, it's very, not the easiest getting back here. And I can already tell this is like a really tight squeeze. But yeah, I can't even like fit like right here. As with most SUVs in this class, very small third row seat. But we'll get out of here. Oh, jeez. All right, and this XSE does have the red seats. It looks very nice, actually. I really do like the interior of this car. We'll start it up. So you do get this like really nice steering wheel, very smooth leather on it. So here's like the center screen. Here's your radio station, your driver assistance, your driver aids are right here. Here's all your settings. Pretty standard stuff in this gauge cluster. They aren't like full digital, nothing particularly fancy, but I do like the look of these. I think they look pretty good. But here's your center screen right here. It's a nice screen, actually. This is like the screen it's on all the time. If we go to menu, you can check out your audio. This is where you change like your source. You can set your presets right here. You can change your sound settings. Pretty standard stuff. You also get hard buttons on the side, which is pretty nice. Not a whole lot in this system. It's basically just standard like radio controls. It is a nice screen. It looks pretty high quality. You do get heated seats, 3 level. You do have your climate control right here. You do get a standard shifter. It's pretty nice. A lot of cars don't really have this anymore, but this one does. Very nice. You also have your drive modes right here, so you can change from sport, normal, and eco. I've been leaving it normal. I think it's pretty good in its normal setting. You also have a parking brake right here. You have your brake hold right here. That's pretty nice to have. You can go into like mud and sand mode. If I twist this, that basically puts it in mud and sand, turns off your traction control, or you can go to rock and dirt, which is kind of interesting. But we'll go back to normal there. You do have your traction control off, you have your snow mode, you have your hill descent control, and you have your auto start stop off. You get 3 USBs up here, very nice to have, and you also have a standard power outlet. And we'll check out this is kind of cool. This center console like slides back. You get a wireless charging pad right here, and the wireless charging pad kind of lifts up and reveals a pretty big center console actually. This thing goes pretty deep. But we'll close that up here. And you also have a glove box over here. It's a good size. Here's the key, by the way, your standard Toyota key. It does say Highlander on it. That's kind of interesting. But we'll get this thing out on the road and we'll talk about how it drives. Just gonna give you guys my honest impressions. Right off the bat, you hear that nice Toyota V6. Sounds really good. I always like the sound of a good Toyota V6. This thing is pretty peppy too, like it really has no problem getting up and going when it wants to. It really does have good pickup. Another thing I like is the steering. It's really smooth, but it's also like precise and direct. It's not like a sports car. It doesn't have like a whole lot of road feel to it. It feels fairly electronic, but I just like the precision of it. A lot of Toyotas I've driven in the past were kind of vague in the steering, but this definitely feels a lot more solid. It feels a lot more buttoned down. So I definitely am liking the steering feel and just the overall drive of this Highlander. These brakes are very solid. They have a really good bite to them. Basically, right when you lean into the brake pedal, they bite down very nicely. I do like how this 8-speed automatic shifts through its gears. It's very snappy, keeps the engine in the heart of its power band. It's fairly predictable. It does require a bit of a learning curve. There are times where I kind of lean into the accelerator and the transmission doesn't always want to kick down for me. So that could be a little bit annoying, but you kind of get used to it. Once you kind of learn how to drive this car, the 8-speed automatic really isn't an issue. It shifts very smoothly, and I just like the brisk, precise nature of it. Try giving it a little bit of gas here. All right, and it picks up very well. Very smooth in how it accelerates. Really doesn't have an issue picking up speed. It's a very healthy, very adequate amount of power. I have good visibility. I feel like I can see around me like perfectly fine. These pillars are really thin. These mirrors are big. Back window is pretty small actually, but I can see out of it just fine. So visibility, I really can't complain with it. This car is so easy to drive. It just points nice and straight. It's very predictable in how it drives. The accelerator response is a little bit soft off the line. That's something I think they could have done maybe a little bit better. For the first little bit of the travel, it feels like the engine doesn't really do a whole lot, and it just feels slightly delayed. Not a major complaint. I mean, once you get used to this car, it feels perfectly normal and fine. It's just like when I initially drove it, I felt like it was a little bit delayed. Just a really soft and really balanced ride. I definitely like it a lot. And this Highlander doesn't handle too badly either. I'll take it through some corners and show you guys what it's like. But it's really pretty good in the handling, especially for such a big SUV. So when this light turns green, we'll try a little bit of like a harder acceleration just to see, not flooring it, but we'll just try accelerating quickly and see what it's like. Yeah, it picks up well. And this 8-speed has such crisp shifts. I really like it a lot. Hits 55 like no problem. Very linear steering, really smooth. Definitely a really good daily driver. Try a little handling test right here. Yeah, it holds its own. It's really not too bad. Definitely a lot better than the last generation. You can really dust people like fairly easily. It's pretty surprising actually. And there's nothing quite like a V6. Just the linear power and the feel, the sound, it's all very nice. Good torque off the line. Very easy to tell where the front tires are and where the car is directing itself. The transmission kicks down fairly easily. And we do have some more corners we can try out. Yeah, does a good job. I'm pretty impressed. The transmission is even holding out the gears for me because it can tell I want to go a little bit faster. Really not a whole lot of road noise or wind noise. It is pretty quiet and pretty refined in here. It's a lot like the old Highlander in some ways, just more buttoned down and more refined. Kind of cool how good these new cars have gotten. 10 years ago, an SUV could not handle like this. So, I mean, these SUVs, they just get better and better. Very firm brake pedal, as I said, feels really good. And just gets up and goes when you put your foot down. It does lean a little bit. It is a little bit bouncy, but really it's very manageable. We'll try putting it in sport mode actually. Kind of want to see what that's like. Definitely a little bit quicker to accelerate. When you tap the throttle, it just kind of gets up and moves. But it's not like it's aggressively revving too much. It feels very normal even in sport mode, just a little bit more responsive. We'll try getting this thing on the highway, see what it's like. Hits highway speeds really easily. Very manageable and easy to drive on the highway. Doesn't feel lumbering or anything. It's much like a car, just like a normal car when you drive it on the highway. Pretty quiet, very smooth. Really, this would be like a great road trip car. This thing stops very confidently. Take it back on the highway. It zips around. I'm like pretty impressed. Try our Cloverleaf off-ramp. I'm not gonna go super fast because it is kind of wet out here. But yeah, I'm really not feeling a whole lot of body lean. The steering communicates pretty well, feels very direct, very consistent. Yeah, I really can't complain. Alright you guys, well that about sums up my review on this Toyota Highlander. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Moves pretty well for a big SUV. I like this interior a lot. I like the smooth ride. I like the sort of like fairly smooth and precise steering. I like the engine power, very smooth, and always gets right up to speed very well. Very smooth, easygoing, nice car to drive. But yeah, we'll shut it off and we'll hop out. All right, thanks for watching everyone.